Thank you, Mark. All right, good morning, everyone. Pleasure to be here with you. I thought about taking a couple of minutes to kick things off here and just tell you about what a great week it's been here in Sydney, how beautiful the city is. And then I stopped and realized you guys already live here. You know how great it is. I don't need to tell you that. So thank you for your hospitality. It's been great to be here. So I want to get right to the point in telling you, in sharing with you our conviction about what a special time this is in e-commerce. We believe that there has never been a better time to be in e-commerce. And I would add that as we have conversations with merchants and partners, look at industry trends throughout the world, we believe that there are few, if any, countries and regions that are better for e-commerce right now than here in Australia and also in Asia. We see this ourselves in looking at our own momentum at Magento. The fact that the momentum is not just palpable, but it's accelerating. And we know in talking to many of you this week, you feel much the same way. So as a part of eBay Enterprise, Magento isn't just thriving, it is actually beating market growth rates. I want to take a few minutes to talk a little bit about that today. So if you look at the latest Alexa report, you see that Magento has reached 30% market share of the top e-commerce sites on the internet worldwide. That's amazing when you think about the fact that just a couple of years ago, this market was completely fragmented. There was no clear market leader. And today, roughly 1 in every 3 web stores on the internet run on Magento. That's remarkable, but it's even more interesting to look at it on a country-by-country basis. As you look here in Australia, you see that almost 50% of the top web stores, 1 in every 2, runs on Magento. You look at other strategic markets for us, like France and Germany, and you see that they are between 25 and 30% market share. You also see in the UK where last year Magento had 33% market share, and this year it's up to 42% market share. Just amazing to see the acceleration of Magento in many of these markets. If you look at Asia Pacific, it's even more remarkable, where today Magento has close to 35% market share in this region. In Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, and India, you see over 40% market share in each of these countries. And in Southeast Asia, where Magento hasn't had the same level of penetration and market adoption, we're now up to close to 20% in that region. It is clear, as you look at the data, that Magento is the #1 e-commerce platform in the world. Now, if some of our competitors were here, some of our critics, they might look at this data and say with some disdain that a lot of Magento's customers are smaller merchants. To which we would respond that small merchants are an incredibly important part of our ecosystem today and critical to our strategy in the future. And I'd also add, we're proud of all of our customers. But I would add to that we are the fastest growing e-commerce platform in terms of large merchant adoption on the planet, among all e-commerce platforms. If you look at the market research firm Internet Retailer, they publish an annual report of the adoption of e-commerce platforms and of the online revenues of the top 500 merchants in a variety of geographies. And in their latest report, it is clear that Magento is not just the fastest growing e-commerce platform on their list, but for the mid-market, and by the mid-market I mean for merchants who are doing between $25 and $75 million in annual online revenues, Magento is the #1 platform in virtually every market throughout the world. If you look at the entirety of the list, say in North America, you see that Magento is #3 in North America, and in Europe we're #2. And more interestingly for me personally is the fact that Magento has as many customers on the IR 500 list as our top 2 competitors combined. The reason we bring all this up is just to say, with conviction, that Magento can handle the scalability needs of virtually any customer, regardless of their size. Now, to me, the greatest indication of this momentum is actually the success of the customers and merchants who are using the Magento platform. As you look at some of these brands, it's phenomenal to see the results that they're having. Nestle, for example, has picked Magento to be their global e-commerce standard for their brands across the world that in aggregate do hundreds of millions of dollars in annual online revenues. You look at other branded manufacturers like The North Face, Head, and Vizio. You look at fashion retailers like Bulgari and Hermes, who aren't just doing multi-country rollouts, but multi-continent rollouts of Magento. You think about B2B retailers and the amazing complexity and scale that they are doing that constitute 20% of our installed base of customers. Or even think about companies like Stella and Dot, who are one of the many customers we have that do over $100 million in annual online sales. And it is clear to see that large merchants are having great success with our platform. Now you think about the Australian market in particular, and you see a similar storyline emerge. The iconic brand Harvey Norman has one of the most sophisticated and impressive omni-channel implementations of Magento that we have seen throughout the world. Or take Dick Smith, that a year ago had a thriving and substantial business running on Magento that in the last year has grown many-fold. There are great brands like Kathmandu, Sass & Bide, Converse, The Athlete's Foot, many more that you see here that we are incredibly proud of that are having great success on the Magento platform. Clearly, we can say here in Australia, throughout Asia, and throughout the world, that regardless of your size, Magento can be a great platform for you. Now, as we have success, or as our merchants are having success, and as Magento is investing more and more in the quality of our implementations, we are seeing that analysts are taking note. They're recognizing Magento's traction in the market, which is great at last. One of those analysts is a company called Gartner, technology market analyst, that recently released their Magic Quadrant report for digital commerce. And what we noticed is that Magento is being listed as one of the top 11 e-commerce platforms in this report. But what's particularly noteworthy is the fact that from 18 months ago to today, Magento has moved the most, has the most momentum of any platform in their analysis. That's particularly exciting. And they note in their report many of the strengths that Magento has, as well as some of our weaknesses that constitute why we have moved from being one of the niche players at the bottom of the pack and why we have moved up to being one of the top challengers among all e-commerce platforms in the world. The strengths, among the strengths that they mention, first and foremost, as they have talked to customers throughout the world, is Magento's performance and scalability. As they talk about some of our weaknesses and opportunities for improvement, they advise caution around our partner ecosystem and around some gaps in our functionality. Those are areas that we are focusing aggressively on to make sure that we can be successful and that you can be successful in the days and years ahead. So we've talked some about the momentum that Magento has experienced in the market. Now I want to turn our attention a little bit to why so many merchants are overwhelmingly selecting Magento throughout the world. Many reasons for this, but we want to hone in on a couple here. The first is our commitment to open source, the strength of our ecosystem, our technology, our business model, and what the commitment from eBay to Magento has meant and will mean in the future. First and foremost, I want to state very clearly that without open source, Magento would not be as successful as it has been to date. Magento's open technology, in addition to the contributions and innovations from all of you, have allowed for Magento to become synonymous with customer choice. We have not wavered in our commitment to open source. In fact, Magento 2 constitutes an incredible investment from eBay in time and in resources, and is a substantial contribution to Magento's open source code base. Paul Boisvert, our head of product, is going to talk briefly in a few minutes about that in more detail. What's also interesting is to note that there is there's substantial precedent for major corporate sponsorship of open source. Think about Java and Oracle. Think about Android and Google and in the context of the same conversation, Magento and eBay, where eBay's dedication to and stewardship of open source commerce is strong now and will not waver. Second, Magento has the best and strongest ecosystem in all of commerce. Full stop. If you think about the amazing variety of solutions partners, of industry partners, of developers that exist throughout the world, it is clear to see why we have such traction in the market, why 1 in every 3 large e-commerce implementations are running on the Magento platform. And so if you're a merchant that's working on your first $1 million online, or your 10th $1 million online, or your 250th $1 million online, there are partners in our ecosystem that are uniquely fitted to help you achieve those benchmarks. We now have over 300 solutions partners in our ecosystem and over 6,000 extensions. Add to that the fact that we have doubled the number of certified developers, and this truly is the best ecosystem in commerce. Now, a major area of focus for us is our developer community. Magento is the developer platform of choice in all of e-commerce. And with the success that Magento has had generally, we're able to invest more in the developer community, which I think is great. First, we have tapped one of the strong members of the Magento development community to be our Magento evangelist, or developer evangelist. Ben Marks, would you mind standing up for everyone? Let's give Ben a round of applause. Ben looks pretty good for the wear, but I know he has been crisscrossing the world supporting our partners and community at events all over the place in literally, I think, every continent on Earth. Well, maybe not Antarctica, but just about every continent on Earth. In addition to that, we are actively evaluating technology platforms in order to best service our robust community. What that has also meant is that we have shut down the commentary in the Magento forums while we are looking for a better alternative. Now, Ben, along with the Magento product and engineering groups, have been actively involved in hackathons for both PHP and Magento hackathons throughout the world in order to get more support in the PHP community. Also add to that the fact that we are doing a lot of work with Magento Connect, our app store, our extension marketplace, where we've done a lot in the last few months in order to improve the quality of that marketplace. And we are now in process over the next couple of quarters of completely re-architecting the Magento Connect marketplace to make it far better for the future. Now, a key priority for Magento overall is the success of our merchants. And to that end, we have made a number of investments over the last year that I think are paying dividends. The first is we have hired real merchant experts to join our expert consulting group. These experts are helping with complex and very challenging situations for our customers. In addition to that, we have tripled the number of courses in our Magento University, Magento U, and have now delivered over 1.4 million hours of training throughout the world. We've also put a lot of focus on our certification program. We're now up to 4 Magento developer certifications, and we are trying to provide our support for your commitment to excellence. All of that has resulted in over 3,500 developer certifications throughout the world. Finally, I would note that we have seen a 400% satisfaction increase among strategic merchants' experience using Magento. Now, the third area that has been a major reason for Magento's adoption in the market has been superior technology that has allowed growing merchants to be able to respond to new trends, new market opportunities, and challenges from competitors in the market. It's our experience that merchants, almost regardless of their size, need scalability and need flexibility, not just to succeed today, but to grow substantially in the future. You've got to have scalability and you've got to have flexibility. Now, many of our competitors offer products that are basically a rigid, one-size-fits-all toolbox. In contrast, Magento offers a platform that can be customized to the unique needs of every customer. Now, in that scenario, you own the data. You own the day-to-day merchandising. And when you're not having to deal with features and functionalities you just don't need, that greatly improves your speed to market and reduces your total cost of ownership. The fourth reason that we see customers choosing Magento overwhelmingly is that we have a superior business model. Now, because we're open source, many of our competitors from time to time will say some pretty ridiculous things about Magento. So I'm here to set the record straight. I want to be very clear about this. There is no platform in e-commerce that matches Magento in terms of our flexibility and control, our speed to market, and total cost of ownership. When it comes to Magento, you don't have to be locked into long-term contracts you don't want to be in. You're not going to be penalized for not hitting certain minimums in terms of your sales. You're not going to be punished for exceeding your sales benchmarks with harsh overage penalties. And again, Magento has the lowest total cost of ownership of any platform in the market. What that all means for everyone here is that you have a tremendous opportunity for everyone, for our merchants, for our partners, for our developers, to take advantage of this. Finally, the last main reason I wanted to highlight today why Magento has had so much success in the market is having the support and commitment of eBay. Now, Magento historically has been a best-of-breed web store. I would argue the best in the market, where you can integrate other best-of-breed technologies with Magento and create the environment that you want to have. What has been very exciting to many of our customers as we go forward is that we are continuing to be committed to this core principle of choice, where if you want to continue to have a best-of-breed roadmap and go down that path with Magento, you can. If, on the other hand, you want to tap in to an extraordinary group of technologies that are already integrated with Magento, best-in-class marketing capabilities, order management capabilities, omni-channel capabilities, fulfillment capabilities, that is available to merchants as well, allowing them to choose the path that they want to go down. So as I conclude here, I want to go back to where we started, and that is recognizing the amazing opportunity at hand in this market. There has never been a better time to be in e-commerce, and this is one of the best markets in all of the world. I would add to that Magento and eBay Enterprise have never invested more in our product roadmap, we have never invested more in merchant success, and we have never invested more in our developer community, which is teeing everyone up here for great success down the road. So with that, it's my great pleasure to introduce my friend and the head of product at Magento, Mr. Paul Boisvert. Paul.